Me and Atif, my partner, my kid was 8 months old. Sorry, my kid was 8 months old. We were in a pizza shop in New York. And I was like, what is this life? Like, we're just gonna have like one car, two car, one house, and then
what?
Then I remember, and Atif said, Aisha, why don't you start this organization? I'm like, organization? No, we don't start organizations like that. He said, no, why we can't do it? We were always around art. Like Atif and I, we used to paint when we were at home. We will meet artists. All our friends, when we told them we're starting this organization, they were not surprised.
Welcome to the Pioneers of Possibility podcast. I'm your host, Kareem Afzal. And for all of you viewers, thank you so much for joining us on this journey. We are now on episode 20 of this journey and part of the art series. So what we have shared with you so far in the art series, Sam Laybourne, a TV writer and showrunner for episodes like a series called Acapulco on Apple TV, DMV, which aired on CBS. We shared with you Eve Gigliotti, who is a mezzo-soprano singing at the Met in New York. We shared Mike Glazer, who's a music producer based in Brooklyn. And now we get to share with you the visual arts. And I'm really thrilled to have with us today Aisha Khan of 12 Gates Arts. Gates Arts. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Kareem. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm Aisha Khan. I'm a co-founder and executive director of 12 Gates Arts. We're based in Old City, Philadelphia, and I'm super excited you're here today.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. So to tell us about, just briefly, what is 12 Gates Arts?
So as I mentioned that I'm a co-founder, so we have other three co-founders. In 2009, all of us, we decided to start a non-profit arts organization. Arts organization means like where we show contemporary artists from South Asia, and then we go a little bit further into Savannah, Southwest Asia, Diaspora, and we talk about the contemporary art. We went for nonprofit arts organization because we wanted to create that model where we don't have to sell art, and we show artists where we want to sell them. We wanted to show all we wanted to show all genre. We wanted to show contemporary artists who's doing conceptual work. We wanted to show visual artists. We wanted to show art. And we wanted to have those dialogues, right? And that's how 12 Gates was formed in 2009. So we have gone through a lot of transitions. We have gone through a lot of economical barriers / COVID / political environment. But one thing I will say, the mission, is showcasing diaspora artists, but we have that angle of a social justice angle where we show artists who are talking about social justice, about gender equality. So our organization mission is working around those themes and creating that space.
I'm really excited to get into the journey and the evolution of that. We're sitting in front of an amazing artist.
Yes. So this work, actually, when you asked me, can I do a podcast? And I said, let me finish the installation, because this show, I'm really excited about this show. This is an Sudanese artist, Mohammad Omer Khalil. And he's one of very top printmaker, but also a painter as well. So this year it's Muhammad's 90th birthday. And the show,
he's 90 years old.
1936 to 2026. But when you meet him, he is history in himself. He's a walking library for me. And one thing I really love about my job, meeting these artists, talking to them, meeting them where they are, and just learning from them, how much patience, how much work, how much passion goes into their work. And this work is not always going to come out with the results you want, in both forms, in form of a piece you're creating and in form of what you want to hear from the audience, right? So I think showing Mohammad Omer Khalil, this is the second time we're doing his solo. The first time we did solo, it was in 2019, and we all did prints. You'll see one side of the gallery has his paintings, but one side of the gallery has his print. He is really one of the master printmakers we have today. So yes, the show is opening tomorrow. And when you asked me the question, when you said we wanted to do a podcast, and I said, this is a perfect background for me. because under his wisdom, under his work, I feel like this is a really proud moment for 12 Kids showcasing his work in Philadelphia.
That's great. So with all of our guests, we like to talk about our formative years, where you grew up, where you came from, and the path you took that got you here. You have a very interesting sort of beginning of your career. So where'd you grow up?
Sure. So I'm from Pakistan, born in Pakistan, grew up in Pakistan till I was 22.
Which, what part?
So my father he was in government service. So he moved around all over Pakistan. So I always used to make fun that Philadelphia is the only place I have lived longer than 3 years in my life. I have never lived anywhere more than 3 years. So for me, material, space, and for me, belonging, holding on things is I think that's why I could do this work, the work I do. They don't have importance. People have more importance in my life because people I met throughout all these years. So mostly in southern Punjab of Pakistan. But now my parents, when he retired. So he retired before I came. I came to States first, then he retired. So for me, as long as I was in Pakistan until the age of 22, I moved every 3 years. I never lived in a house longer than 3 years. So when I moved here, right after I moved, September 11 happened. So I came in July and September 11 happened. So for me, coming to States, of course, it was an amazing transition. Yes, I was going to tell you. So I met my husband, Atif, and then he was already here. I met him, we got married, and then I came here.
Okay.
Through the same age 4 process, age 1, age 4, we basically with mostly immigrant people come in, right? I came through that process and September 11 happened. So I saw America, I saw the world in that chaos. I saw everything, the grief, the sorrow, the political environment. And then me being as an immigrant, brand new immigrant here, right out of college, have no idea what's life going to be, what I'm going to do. I have been always very independent. And Kareem, I make fun, all of my college life, all my school life, I was a fundraiser and a drama committee member.
You acted in drama?
I did a lot of theater, but I was the organizer.
You were the organizer.
And then I was the fundraiser. Okay. And I had no idea why I'm doing all this, because that's probably I will be doing all my life. But my background is English literature and social work, right? So when I moved here,
your degree is English literature
and social work, right? When I moved here, after once we have our legal paperwork, green card done, work permit done, I started working at Merrill Lynch. I used to live in New Jersey. I went for an interview. Because of my literature background, I was a writer, writing a lot. And then they needed a tech writer, or they needed a contract writer at that time. So that's how I started. And then right away, I went into 401k trading. Okay. And I did my Series 7, right? And then Series 7 changed.
And you did that because Merrill Lynch wanted you to?
I had to do it if I wanted to stay in that 401k, right? And then right after that Series 7, I moved my department. I went into compliance, where I was there I situated myself there for 4 years. So altogether in Merrill Lynch, I was for 7 years. I think those 7 years, being an immigrant, being a woman of color, being a woman, having a child, living that American dream, house, car, all those things you're supposed to have in that age, I realized I have no community. And that was literally one thing happened to me. And I know maybe you say I'm so overconfident because I am an executive director here. I tell everyone if I will be still and if I continue to do my job at Merrill Lynch, of course, with recession and all of that, I would be maybe director or a vice president or maybe a corporate head. That's how overconfident I am. Within Merrill Lynch or maybe any other organization.
You would have continued to ascend the ladder.
I would have continued because I had that in my head, in my mind. I want to do something. I wanted. But what happened when my son Rumi was born? He was born in 2007. That was a huge shift in my life, where I realized I don't have a family. I had amazing. One thing, Kareem, I always am lucky to find really good friends. I have been always lucky with my friends. They really supported me, my other mother, early motherhood, helping me if he's sick. But nobody tells you when you're a corporate employee, you have no life. You're not supposed to have a kid. You're not supposed to get sick. You're not supposed to have problems.
You're 24/7.
You're 24/7, right?
You're always responding
Exactly.
to.
And I don't think I have ever given this transparent interview or this open interview, not transparent, this open interview anywhere else. So me and Atif, my partner, my kid was 8 months old. Sorry, my kid was 8 months old. We were in a pizza shop in New York. And I was like, what is this life? Like, we're just going to have like 1 car, 2 car, 1 house, and then
what?
Right? And I always wanted to move to city. I hated suburbs.
It's functional.
It's functional.
It serves a purpose. You're living comfortably. Your son's living comfortably.
Kareem, I like noise.
Felt you wanted.
Yeah, I wanted noise. I don't know how to explain that.
You wanted the honk.
I wanted the honk. I wanted the noise, right? Few things I knew, but few things, again, I'm still a younger person. I'm still discovering, myself.
We're still young.
Thank you. But, younger version of me. So then we were sitting in New York, I remember, and Atif said, Aisha, why don't we start this organization? I'm like, organization? No, we don't start organizations like that. He said, no, why we can't do it? We were always around art. Like Atif and I, we used to paint when we were at home. We will meet artists. All our friends, when we told them we're starting this organization, they were not surprised. They're like.
So at that time, in growing up, what kind of art were you compelled to? What type of art pulled you in?
So for me, it was always experimental work. Okay. When I say experimental work, like paintings, even if I'm saying experimental, if I'm saying textile, I always like experimental. I never liked anything which is too defined and too perfect.
Not traditional.
Not traditional.
Not without its frayed edge.
Yeah, like I always liked something with edge.
Okay.
And Atif, actually, whose minor degree was in arts, right? So it's both of us. It was the combination, like he's the artist, I'm the arts administrator, or I'm the artist, he is the arts administrator.
Kind of the right yin and yang.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's so confused right now. Like, I don't think even if it happened 17 years ago, right? So we literally that night in a horrible pizza place, a pizza was so bad, but something good created. We created 12 Gates. We got home, I remember it was April 11, 2009. I registered the organization. Had no idea where money is going to come from, Kareem. I had no idea where people are going to come from. We reached out to our friends, and then we just started. And we had our opening on June 4, 2009. Just like that.
Just in a few months.
Literally in a few months. I did not know anyone in Philadelphia.
Who's your first artist?
So my first artists, there were 5 of them. It was Kausar Iqbal, Asif Ahmed, Jayab Naskar, Partha Roy, and Asma Ahmed Shiko. So Asma Ahmed Shiko.
You remember them like?
Oh my God, I remember all my artists. I remember all artworks. Even if you ask me what paintings, I can tell you those paintings. So Asma Ahmed Shiko, I don't know if you look at her work. Her work got a lot of attention in New York Times because she did a Statue of Liberty as a bride, then as a pregnant woman, and then as with a baby. So she was talking about her journey, like her struggle, moving from Pakistan right after art school and being here. Kareem, what is like sometimes stories are untold. I understand I came on a very privileged visa. I understand, I acknowledge my privilege. I came on age 4, my husband had a job, but nobody tells you, like, for a few months, you're no one here. You can't work, you can't travel. This immigration like rules, like basically you feel like, it's not like you lose your identity, but you kind of lose your kind of ground. For me, that was the hardest part because I was always very active. I was always very involved in everything.
But you had to wait.
I had to wait.
You had to wait.
Had to wait.
For the process.
Even process, it's a new country. Its language is new. Everything is new, It's not that I don't speak English. Of course I do. But it's just the whole process, And so we started 12 Gates. It's been 16 years. I think it will be 17 years this year. Not a single moment I look back and I regret. Not a single day. Every day I wake up and I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it better today. And I think artist after artist, hurdles after hurdles, I got like within the space, people bullied me. People passed their racial comments, but I believe.
What was that like for you? you opened your doors in 2009. So, and you had your first
opening
showing of five artists.
5 artists, and there was one artist, Asma Shiko.
Was it in this space?
No. So this is our third finance space. So we always share this space because of my finance background. One thing I nailed it: budget.
Okay.
I think that
you were frugal, and you made sure to be
collaboration,
financially sustainable.
I made like 3 years budget before even opening.
That's great.
Like, I need to still here. I need to do this. Where to cut the budget? But so there was one piece.
And you were always in Philadelphia.
Always. So we went to New York actually to see the space.
Okay.
But New York was number one, too saturated. Number two, having a little kid. I wanted to be fair to him as well, right? I just don't lose him in this whole process. I don't want it to like ignore him as well. So when we moved to Philadelphia, when we came to Philadelphia, I realized in Old City, and also there is no South Asian artist representation here. So we just we moved here and
I grew up here and just turned 50, and I can tell you for sure
there's nothing.
That there is nothing here.
And there's still only 12 kids.
Yeah.
And when I came here, I felt home here. So I tell everyone, this place, Philadelphia, is my home. This is the longest I have ever lived in any city. I love potholes. I love the scream. I love the dirty noise. I don't know how to say that. But like, if
you love the city and its warts, but it has there's a charm, right? So even professional athletes, right? I mean, these are the $100, $200 million players. They don't leave, right? So they retire and they generally stay within some mile radius of this place.
And Kareem, the other thing is, I don't feel other here, which is the most important part of me. Raising a brown kid in this city, he doesn't feel other.
He doesn't feel public.
Nobody, like, a random day comes and asks me, where are you originally from? I say I'm from Philly, and the way I say it, you don't ask me this question again. I'm from Philadelphia. You know what I mean? So Philly,
and that ends the conversation.
That's it. And I'm not going to go beyond that conversation unless you really want to know, like, what I do, what I'm talking about. I'm not going to just do like an identity or gender or some sort of race card for you. So I'm not.
This is just a interesting side note, but I mean, you look at me, right? So most people don't know where I'm from. They think of Greece, Iranian, Pakistani, Indian, South Asians always are intrigued, right? So they ask, where are you from? And I 100% say, I'm born in America. I'm an American. They're like, no, where are you really from? And then I say, well, my mother was Swedish. And they're like, and they're waiting. And I said, my father's from India. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No. And so, I love it.
I appreciate your response because it has always been my response.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's something is like, I call Philadelphia, this is my home. This is like, and I know, and of course, I'm not out and about like the way I used to when I started the organization. Kareem, I knew my trash hauler. I knew my FedEx guy. I knew my UPS guy. I knew my garage guy. I knew my parking guy. I know my framer. I know my art handler. They are my family. Like all these people. I was not able to do as a mother, like a little kid mother, and we're both trying to make this organization run. We're new parents. We're new city. We're running this organization, and we're pretending we got it. But it's not easy. So these are the people who waited for packages from me outside. Philadelphia gave me that love. I remember the UPS person, he's not here anymore. He would wait for my packages and he would I would get a notification. It's like, Aisha, don't worry, I'm here. They all knew I have a 1.5 year old kid and she's running around all over the place.
So you bootstrapped this and you had your first show. What was foot traffic like?
So that's very interesting. So I did not know anyone in Philly for that opening. All my friends from New Jersey came, all my friends. And 30 minutes later, I see our place is packed.
Okay.
Over 500 people came to that
500
opening.
people?
Yes, over 500 people came for that first Friday opening.
So are these all friends or are these like foot traffic?
It's a first Friday.
Random, first Friday.
First Friday, Old City. But all I kept hearing, oh my God, we haven't seen anything like this. What is this? This is so fine quality. What is this? People ask me, like, because we had a miniature paintings, 2 miniature artists. That was the first time. Actually,
miniature means what? How small?
No, it's NCA, like National College of Arts. And the artists who came from India, it's a miniature is a technique where you do your artwork on mostly handmade paper. And it has a certain kind of feel of it. Like you do it with a single hairbrush. It's extremely finesse in the work, right? And I was like, oh, Okay, people are noticing the difference. And Kareem, it is one person at a time. 12 Gates board, 12 Gates team, 12 Gates advisory board. We literally met one person at a time. And what village we have today, we built it from last 17 years. You will be surprised. I know even my first few collectors' name. I know my few donors' names. I know all of them. And I think it's the human connection that keeps me going every day.
So you talked about some struggles along the way, right? COVID, we'll just leave COVID out because you're a space where people have to come in and everybody has a COVID story. But before COVID, what was your first struggle? You're like, are we going to make it?
It's financial always usually for people, but for me also, it was a lot of administrative work. Mm-hmm. Right. And this is the first time, Kareem, we have full staff. We're fully staffed. We have 3 employees. And actually, I'm not doing my QuickBooks.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was a lot of I was doing 50 jobs in one time, right? And Atif is doing 50 jobs. I have extremely hands-on working board, my advisory board. It's not just me, it's all of us. We're trying to make this happen. But I think the hardest part was being an organization, a South Asian representing South Asian. South Asians, I had to talk about it all the time. What is the importance? Why our existence is important? And the other thing which was like extremely hard for me to keep telling people, this artwork is not South Asian. This artwork, like right now you're looking at Mohammad Omer Khalil's painting, he's Sudanese. His work is not Sudanese. This is a contemporary art painting, right? Just keep asking over and over in panels, through media, that we're South Asians, but the work we're doing is contemporary artwork, just making the brand and keeping the integrity. And financial hardship was like over and over, like going after grants, creating donors. Philadelphia is a very hard market for donors. It's actually one of the worst, people say, like for anything besides charity work or besides.
It's a tight market because the population is pretty condensed. And the resources are stretched.
And then people don't live. People leave. Like people come in, they leave. It's like not something like that's the hardest part. Like being in this city, I feel like it has become destination, but temporary destination.
Okay.
And I'm talking about like people who are around me, right? I'm not making a generalized statement. This is like the people I'm talking about, like museum curators I make relationship with, or curators in generally, or donors. They come in, they leave. But so Kareem, it was multiple. It was administrative, it was operational, and then the cost going up, right, of everything, and then financials. But I always believed in this. Like when there is a will, there is a way. And I read somewhere, it's a beautiful saying which like literally always stuck with me. If you got your wish, then you want to pray for discipline that you can run it, and wisdom you can expand. So Kareem, this is like my kind of motto, that if something is wrong with 12 Gates, I'm not doing it right. Because I asked for it, I have it. And this is again me as an executive director, I'm talking here. I'm not alone here, like we have a full team here. So I think I always wish for that wisdom. But I think the success story for 12 Gates which is again not me, all of us, our communication strength is communication. We communicate. We're extremely transparent what we're doing, how we're doing. And I think the other most important thing is right timing, right place.
So what types of stories? So you started 2009 to 2026. What types of stories do you like to showcase here?
For me, I tell all curators and artists that I've curated the space for you. I curate spaces. I don't curate their art for me. So that is curator's job. So 12 Gates, the way we model the work, we have 4 to 5 exhibitions a year. We invite
45.
No, 4 to 5.
Oh, 4 to 5.
Yeah. Okay. And Kareem, this is a whole transition. We started with 10, then we came to 8. Then now we are at anywhere 4 to 5 exhibitions a year. And then we invite curators. Curators bring their work here, like what they want to work on. They can work on story, they can be political about what's happening in the world today. It can be about a materiality of artwork. It can be about the duality of that artwork. It can be violence in that artwork. Like there are so many things like they can talk about it. That's why I say over and over again, this is like for art space, this is our mission is very hardcore. Like who shows here, who represents, like we just want to make sure that artist and curator has that fair space where they don't have to compromise because somebody doesn't want to hear that or somebody doesn't want to see it.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and I ask all of my guests, what is the collaboration that you are most proud of? And I know that's like choosing between your children, but you only have one. So what collaboration gives you the most joy in your experience?
12 Gates is all about collaboration. Like our system runs on collaboration. But one thing I usually talk about it that we collaborated with Haverford on a Pew grant, and Haverford invited 12 Gates and Haverford invited CARE to be their community partners. And
Council on Americans.
Council, yes. Yeah, CARE. So we were the artistic partners and they were the community partners. First of all, I cracked up when we saw both of us under one table, like, completely different work, right? I think that collaboration and then COVID. It was a very ambitious project for Haverford, and then Haverford brought 12 Gates on board, CARE on board, and very different partners. It was a whole film collaboration contest of fruits, right? And it was about the Uyghur Muslims,
in China.
It was happening, what was happening around that time. And it was very academic / artistic project. And I came in as an artistic partner and CARE came as a community partner. Kareem, here we start and COVID hit. And that was supposed to be multiple pronged community programming, things like we're doing dinners, lunches, like it was supposed to happen in so many ways, like for 2 years. And then we all get together, what do we do? I never thought that that whole project via COVID, via Zoom can become life of so many people. So then of course, CARE had to step up, 12 Gates had to step up, and then we became and then the whole Haverford team, we kind of became a family. We used to see each other like via Zoom every week. And so many times I thought, what if this doesn't work out? What if I am not able, 12 Gates is not able to participate that they want to do it? You wouldn't believe we cooked on Zoom. We did comedy on Zoom. We did performance on Zoom. We had meals together on Zoom. We did lunch meetings. It was whole 2 years. So when that project ended, and the last event was in 12 Gates in this space, we'd hosted Slavs, their exhibition, and then we had a dinner in our space. And I just could not express, and the whole Haverford staff was here. Pew, I think a couple of Pew members, 1 or 2 Pew members were here, and then CARE was here. I'm like, that was something I was so proud of that we did it. And I gained so much confidence in this media, in Zoom. Like, okay, you can really do things. You can make it happen. Because
you can't. I mean, nobody thought it was possible, and everybody thought meetings had to be in person and a Zoom. So it came around at the right time to enable collaborations.
Exactly. And
not possible, people were creative, right? So, like you said, cook, perform, readings, all these different things on Zoom. We became creative because we needed to be, right? So we're isolated in our houses, and as for you, somebody who works with collaborators and creators, you gave life to that.
It was just amazing. So that one thing I always say, like doing that project, finishing that, I had no idea what I signed up for. Haverford would say the same thing. We had no idea, like COVID hit and what we're going in with. But it was a beautiful celebration in the end. It was beautiful project ending. And we actually all achieved a lot. Like we have peers out there now. Like, I think for me, you will probably, when I will hear my podcast again, for me, I think the connection, the main thing is people.
It all starts with people.
I think it all starts with people.
It all starts with people, and the people who are most successful, and the people who grow their brand, I just interviewed the Secretary of Policy for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. In the end, it's the connection to people, right? In the end, you have to serve the people. You're serving your artists. you're serving the people who are coming in to view and learn about them as an artist and their art. And being connected to that is always.
And Kareem, I never thought like I'm creating a sanctuary space. Trust me, like when we were creating the space, we were creating an art space where people come in, they're wowzers. Oh my God, look at this work, look at this technique only. But if you ask me, Aisha, can you count? I can't. How many times people walked in and cried in this space? Like this is a safe space for them. They see themselves in this space. And I asked them, I'm like, okay, so do you live here? Yes, my grandparents moved here. They're American, as you're saying, like they have. And I said, then why this place? They said, you know what? I can be myself here. I'm like, but you and I spoke for like 2 minutes. How do you feel about it? And they're like, no, we can sense it. We can say, we feel safe. Nobody's going to come and say anything to us the way I look, the way I talk. Like a lot of young Muslims who wear hijab, they walk in this space and they say like, and not necessarily they're going to see the subject, they agree with it, right? They probably think, no, it's not done this way, or you're not representing me, or I'm just making it up. But although that all those participants, when they walk into the space, they're like, we feel comfortable here.
For somebody who was born and raised here, born in Ben Salem, went away for college, came back. I could tell you that we didn't have a space dedicated to our diaspora, right? So telling the stories and showing the art of people who come from my mother's Swedish. Okay, there's the Swedish American Museum by the stadiums, and that's okay. But from my father's side of the family, there was, Hakeem Olajuwon was there, right? Basketball player, but that was when I was, in my upper teens. But artists, I was in drama too. So I did 4 years of drama in high school, but there wasn't that person from South Asia.
Exactly. Right. You're probably the only one.
You could point to and say, that person made it. I'm proud to be part of that tribe, so to speak.
And even today, I think
it's improving.
It's much better.
It's improving, but we need more spaces like this, especially to the fine arts. Right, because they're actors and they're comedians, and they're these types of folks who are representing the community in a positive light, in a positive way. But for the fine visual arts,
it's important. And then also, a few years into 12 Gates, when we started doing film screenings, poetry circles, musical events, and then you realize how this space become intergenerational and interracial. And for me, hey, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to see. Like this January, we did a Qawwali event for 12 Gates. They are Sami brothers. They are in USA. So I just wanted to bring them to Philadelphia. That was the first time Qawwali thing happened in Philadelphia.
Can you explain Qawwali?
Yes.
Because not everybody is.
Of course. So Qawwali is an old tradition of music. This is a Sufi music. Like it has a very set pattern, like where you talk about first 1 or 2 performances has to be about the opening songs, right? And then you move into a second part of it. Then you move into a more poetry part of it. So it's a very organized, right? And in Philadelphia, nobody ever did it. And when I signed up for it, I'm like, what if nobody shows up? I was like, you know what? Let's give it a try. Kareem, I got such overwhelming response. I had to create 40 seats in the end in the floor for people. People said, we will stand. Just let us come in. But then, of course, I had to follow the fire code for the building. Fire code. Right? So I had to literally, until last person walked in, I was at max. I think I had 3 people over probably.
Sure.
And when I did that, and after that, the messages I got, and if you would see the pictures, you look at that room, and if you ask me, Aisha, who attended it, what age, what race, it was so mixed.
So mixed.
It was so intergenerational, so interracial, because I had a 12-year-old and then I had an 85-year-old. And they all came because they said, we wanted to see something. We wanted to see the community. And I got emails after emails. I got messages after messages on Instagram, like how people were craving for something like community, safe space, because the current environment. I'm not going to go through those like, okay, oh my God, this is a brown person. This is another person. Like, I'm not going to go through those races. It was so interracial. And then you realize we all struggling what's going in the world today. And it's not like it's happening in one space or the other. We all are making a compromise with our surroundings today. It's good compromise, bad compromise, medium compromise. And I'm lucky to say that my job gives me that opportunity, that I meet people and people I work with. I get distracted very easily and I see hope in it. And although there is a struggle, but I see hope. But that musical event really keep me going. I was like, I need to change model a little bit, like how I activate the space more. It's not like we don't activate it enough. We do weekly events here, but I'm like, how I bring all these people in more so they don't feel they have to wait 1 year.
So let's get into that. What's next for 12 Gates? What's next for you?
So for 12 Gates, I'm super excited. You met Krishan Nair and Umika Pathik. I'm really excited that I have 2 staff members who represent this younger generation. And that's how I want to see 12 Gates for this generation. And I want them to also create 12 Gates future with me. You know what I mean? With the board, with the advisory board. So so I have been with 12 Gates 17 years. Of course, I'm thinking about succession as well. Like, when is the right time to leave 12 Gates? And people will be like, no. There is a time. You have to leave and you have to give the baton to someone else. And just make sure you're lucky if you find that right person. So for us, between Krishan, myself, Umika, with board, with all of us, we really want to increase our collaborations in Philadelphia, other organizations, and see how community wants to get involved, like what kind of events community wants to see. Like, we're doing musical residency, which I never thought I would be doing.
A musical
residency where in this space where musicians will come and we will have 10 to 15 students and they will get 1 month intense.
So contemporary? Classical?
It will be classical.
Okay.
But the students will make the contemporary. Like, students coming here, and then whatever program we create together, we will figure it out. Either we do a fusion or we stick with tradition. We're still talking about it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is our poetry salon, poet studio, which we started last year. That has exploded. Like, now people want to see it more and more. Like, we do monthly Aisha Khan. Like,
So like a poetry slam?
It's a poetry slam. And then we have a poet from Philadelphia. And then students come in. So, Kareem, one thing, all our events are for free. We don't charge anything.
You don't charge anything?
We don't charge anything.
So what's your Instagram handle that people could find out about these events?
12 Gates, 12 Gates Arts.
12 Gates
Arts. 12 Gates Arts. All our events are free to attend. The only time we charge when we're doing a fundraising or we're doing any kind of event where we need to pay artists, which is not in 12 Gates budget, which rarely happens.
If you were to give advice to an aspiring gallery founder, not Philadelphia, right? Some other place.
In the world.
What would be the one thing you would tell them?
Create organizations, create spaces. That's the only way we can survive together. That's it. I say that people who know me, when they hear this, it's not new to them. And create spaces, meet people where they are.
Aisha, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. Really appreciate it. And coming up is Mohammad Omer Khalil's starting when?
So his opening is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, April 3rd.
Tomorrow, April 3rd, Friday. We open the gallery around 6 o'clock. We'll be here till 8:30. And Mohammad Omer Khalil MOK, he will be here.
Okay.
If you want to come meet up with him, he would love it. He's like, one should come and see him.
That's great. Yeah. And for 2 months.
It is up starting tomorrow until May 16th. Okay. Yes, the closing in May 16th. And we're doing printmaking workshop. We're doing panels during this whole time. To stay tuned on the website and Instagram. You'll see a lot of information about it.
Well, I want to thank you so much for curating a space that is safe for this diaspora, this underrepresented population who makes up a huge amount of the American society and community. We contribute so much, and it's wonderful to be able to have a space that my children can look to as representing their heritage and background. So
thank you so much, Kareem. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. This episode of The Pioneers of Possibility has been produced and edited by Danny Vagnoni, with music credits going to the artist known as Sahari, and artwork for our podcast is presented by the artist known as Layla. I'm your host, Kareem Afzal. Thank you for listening. If you like this episode and you would like to hear more from future episodes, please follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and click the subscribe button on YouTube. And please leave a comment so we can engage our listeners. Thank you very much. See you next time.